to my channel. It has been such an incredibly busy week. We have just moved house, as you can probably tell, but I still wanted to get something up for you guys this week. So I thought I would just sit down and do a bit of a get to know me Q&A style video this week. I thought this could be quite fun. I've got a bunch of questions here that I'm just gonna answer and let's have fun with it. I tried to pick a good range of questions that people might not know about me, so let's just get started. Okay, starting off very simple and easy. What's your name and how old are you? Hi, I'm Beck and I'm 31 years old, which seems crazy to say. How am I not in my 20s anymore? That's wild. Next question is, where do you live? Well, I currently live on the Gold Coast. As I said, we've just moved house. I moved to the Gold Coast with my partner Hamish and our two cats, Timmy and Ralph, about 6 months ago. I had previously lived in Sydney for 10 years, and before that I did live in America for 1 year. I went to college and played Division 1 lacrosse actually over there. And then before that I went to school in Adelaide. And then I actually was born on the Gold Coast and lived here when I was like a baby till I was 6. So it's been a whole journey. There's been a few different places, but currently I live on the Gold Coast and I absolutely love it. I really do hope that we stay here forever now. As I said, it's been such a busy week moving house, and I did record a few clips from the whole moving process, so I might put those in here now. Hello, it's Thursday, November 20th, and we're on our way to go do a walkthrough of the house we bought. I'm excited to go see it. Then the plan is next week on Monday is settlement. We should get the keys on that day, and then hopefully move all of our stuff on Wednesday, and we have until the following Monday to be out of our apartment at the moment. Bye! It's currently Monday, November 24th, which means today is settlement. We get our keys this afternoon and then we have removalists coming on Wednesday. So today's a big packing day. I've done a lot of the kitchen and the living room and my desk and workspace, and now I'm going to attack the wardrobe. I was optimistic that I would do a big closet clean out, but honestly I just can't be bothered going through it. I have so many teacher dresses, pretty much everything hanging up in here I don't wear anymore, but I'm not in the space to be going through it. So that's right, I'm gonna get packing and I'm listening to a podcast, which is kind of a bit of a vibe, so. I just have to show you. These are my journals from the last, 3 years? That's it. This bitch likes to write her thoughts down. And I can guarantee most of this is the date and then, dear diary, it's the morning. I'm a bit tired today. Maybe I'll have some cereal for breakfast. Blah, 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 blah. I'm proud of this pile. That's all. I've just come to Bunnings because it's only 10:45 and we've already run out of boxes. I still need to pack half of my clothes. We need to pack the bathroom, we need to pack the rest of the kitchen, and Hamish needs to do pretty much all of his stuff. So I'm here at Bunnings to grab some more boxes. Found the boxes. I don't seem to have any large, but I also need to get packing paper and bubble wrap. We are on our way to our new house. Woo! Woo! We got our keys last night. Yay! Yay! We're in our new house. Woo! We live here now. And I brought over some sunflowers. Aren't they pretty? And we got given a candle yesterday. So Hamish is just opening it. Yay! Smell good? Patchouli and bergamot. Do you like that? It's kind of nice and then kind of toilety. Not bad. It's the first night in our new house. So we're gonna celebrate. We've got pizza and a bottle of bubbles. Woo! Yay! Cheers. Yeah. Yay. Okay, next question is, did you go to uni and what did you study? Yes, I did go to uni. I have had quite a up and down journey through uni, but I did start out in engineering. So my first experience of uni was going over to America. As I said, I was playing lacrosse over there, so I was doing like the student athlete lifestyle over there. I thought I would really enjoy engineering because I loved maths and science at school and I really loved studying. So like the workload that comes with engineering didn't really scare me too much, but I was surprised by how challenging I found it, I think. I had gone to an all-girls school for pretty much my whole schooling career, and then when I entered engineering, I was the only girl in my class of like 50 boys, and it was just such a different environment that was like pretty overwhelming, to be honest. After that, I moved to Sydney and I was doing engineering again at Sydney Uni, but I only did that for about 6 months and then I decided it wasn't for me. I wasn't that interested in the career, so I switched and ended up doing a sports science degree at UTS, which I ended up loving. Like, it was definitely the thing that I was more passionate about, but sports science doesn't necessarily like qualify you for a specific job. Like, a lot of people use that degree to get into physiotherapy or coaching, and I didn't really know what job I wanted. I kind of left that degree and worked kind of as a PE teacher without actually having an education degree. So that was all over the place. I then did go back to uni and I studied a Masters of Teaching again at Sydney Uni. That course I absolutely loved. It was really different in that like they actually were using the research about what makes a good education and then putting it into practice in our course. So like all of our assignments were not graded, like you either passed or failed, because, you know, the research says that grading doesn't actually help you learn, it just helps you compare yourself to others. So I really loved that. The weird thing was though that that whole degree was during COVID. So I did my Masters in 2020 and 2021. So I think we had 3 weeks on campus at the beginning where I met so many of my favorite people, and then we were online for the next 2 years, and I think in the last semester we got back to campus, which was really fun. But yeah, crazy. So yes, I did go to uni. I studied sports science and teaching. Next question is, did you have a job before doing social media full time? Yes, definitely. I have had so many different jobs. Most recently, I was working as a primary school teacher in Sydney for just over 2 years. I was teaching year 6 at an all-girls school and I loved the students. Like, I really loved teaching, but ultimately that job wasn't what I wanted my long-term career to look like, so I left it. Before that, I have also worked in hospitality as a waitress and a bartender. I've worked as like a PE teacher for a company that went into different schools, which was really fun. I've worked as a swim coach, a run coach, a lacrosse coach, umpiring. I worked at a golf course for a little while after school. Nannying I have done for like 15 years. That's kind of one of my favorite jobs to always go back to whenever I need something casual on the side. Like, I love working with kids. That's probably my favorite thing. So yes, I have had a lot of jobs that have led me towards social media, and now social media is pretty much my full-time thing, which is really fun and really exciting. Next question is, were you always sporty? And absolutely yes. I was that annoying kid who would not sit still in primary school. Like, I always joke that I couldn't walk anywhere. I had to run. Like, in between classes, if we had art in one class and then music in the next building over, I was running in between. Like, I was never not moving. I was put in swimming lessons since I was 4 months old. I did a lot of running because my dad was a big runner, so he taught us to run and would take us, you know, on the weekends to run along the river or down to the beach. That was really fun. He'd also take us on bike rides. I feel like we did that a lot. And yeah, I was just always moving. I started playing lacrosse when I was, I think, 11 years old, and played that all through high school. Played on like the state teams, did a tour with the under 23 Australian team, which was so fun. So yes, I have always been sporty. I really did love like trying any and everything in school, and then I really have focused on swimming, running, triathlon as an adult, and then lacrosse. They've kind of been my main things. I also played netball, soccer, water polo, rowing I did for a year in high school. What else have I done? Basketball. Yeah, kind of everything. I will say my approach to sport has definitely changed over the years. Like when I was a kid, it was super fun. And then when I was a teenager, it was definitely like a competitive thing. Like I put my all into training in the hopes of kind of going up the ranks, and like representing Australia was always the goal. And now as an adult, I feel like sport and like being active is more just a part of my lifestyle. It's the way I make friends, it's the way I clear my mind, it's the way I get outside. And I think what always brings me back to like doing lots of workouts is that I want to be fit, healthy, mobile, and moving when I'm like 80, 90, 100 years old. I want to make sure that I'm like honoring my body at whatever age I am, and I know that I'm 31 years old right now, so I need to take advantage of the fact that I can move my body in such a great way right now. And I've definitely gone through injuries and phases where I couldn't move my body quite as easily, and I think that's really given me like the motivation to move a lot now and never take that for granted. The next question is, has social media affected your relationship with your body or food? Now obviously this might be like a touchy subject for some people, so I'll put the timestamp for when I finish answering this question up here. But yes, I would definitely say that posting my life on social media has affected my relationship with food and my body image in really quite unexpected ways. Growing up, I had a really good relationship with food just because I was so sporty, and I feel like I had really great coaches around me who really focused on like educating us on the ways in which to fuel ourselves for performance rather than like ever focusing on aesthetics or like what we looked like. Especially in swimming, I feel like we were always told to just like eat more because we were training so many hours, like often hours in the morning and hours at night every single day. So definitely had a good relationship with food then, but I went to an all-girls school, and unfortunately that wasn't everybody's experience around me. And so I feel like I watched a lot of people go through these different relationships with food where it wasn't so positive. And I think that kind of sat at the back of my mind. Definitely as I moved into my adult life and I wasn't moving so regularly, or I wasn't in those kind of team environments anymore, and I didn't have a coach to kind of ask for guidance, I definitely found it more challenging. Like as an adult, moving out, having to feed myself for the first time, having to cook and grocery shop and all of that sort of stuff just added this extra layer of like stress, honestly, around food. But it's always been pretty good. I did notice like through those stages where like I injured myself. I had a pretty bad knee injury that kind of spanned 2 years, and obviously through those times your body is going to fluctuate, and so I did notice myself struggling with my body image a little bit more in those time periods. I think COVID especially was like this really stressful time for a lot of people, and we felt so out of control. And I was also going through my teacher training at the same time, and so I have always noticed that like if my life stress is really high, then the way that I often cope is by trying to control the controllables. And you know, that always is coming from a good place in my heart, but sometimes I have let it kind of be too much. But I will say that then coming onto social media and posting my life for other people has actually made me stop and think about like, how do I want to present this to other people, or like how can I act as a really good role model? Like if I often think about if my year 6 students were watching my videos, what would I want to say to them? And that would always be like fueling your body properly so that you feel good and can do everything that you want in the day. It would always be about like sharing food as a part of like being part of community, and like sitting down and talking to people while you eat. And like the way that you look is always going to be secondary to who you are as a person and your values. So yeah, I would say social media and posting on social media especially has actually made me like slow down and think about my own actions a lot more, which I think has been really helpful. Next question is a fun one. What would your dream job be if you didn't work in social media? I don't know. I think right now, like, this does feel like my dream job. When I was quitting my teaching job and thinking about how I wanted to spend my life, like, something that I was really looking for was more flexibility, and right now I have that flexibility, which is so exciting. I think one dream job would be like working on a documentary or being an author, which I am actively working towards right now. I'm doing a creative writing course and have been for the last 2 years. So yes, publishing a book one day would be so cool. I think working on a documentary would be absolutely awesome. I just love that style of like storytelling. I used to say Olympian, but right now I do get to race as part of my job, which feels like it's like ticking that box. So in some ways, I feel like I do have my dream job right now, and I'm so grateful. Probably last question is goals for the end of the year and goals for 2026. Goals for the end of the year. So right now it is November 30th. It's the last day of spring, last day of November. Tomorrow is December 1st. So I have a few goals. One of my goals is I'm doing Vlogmas on Instagram. So my goal is to post daily, probably like day in the life style videos on there. I really want to post weekly YouTube videos. I also just want to take December as like a chance to kind of slow down and enjoy the summer, socialize more. Like, this year has been so busy and there's been a lot of change. Like, we've moved to the Gold Coast, so much has gone on. So yeah, I think the goal for December is to just continue doing the little tasks I have been doing every day, but then just enjoy the summer and take a time to kind of reset. And then goals for 2026, I have a lot. I really want to do another full marathon, another half, another 10 and a 5k, hopefully like on the track. I really want to race overseas. We're gonna go overseas. There's a few more other kind of work social media ones that I won't talk about right now, but I do have a very fun video planned to film in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that, and I'll go more into detail into my plans for next year, because I have a lot planned. Like, this year kind of felt like that year where I was like planting the seeds and getting myself settled. Next year feels like it's going to be a very fun year. I'm so excited. Thank you for watching. I think I'll wrap it up there. I really appreciate it if you have stuck around to this point. I will speak to you next week. Hopefully next week's video will be more of like a vlog style video, like my regular videos. So hope you have a great day, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.